Hi everybody, I'm Miss Alene and you're watching Kids Corner for Armstrong Cable, channels 20 and 100. Today we're at South Elementary School and it's all about plants, flowers, and gardens. So join us with the first grade class while we listen to our very cool 2 stories about flowers and gardens and then do our super cool take-home flower pot projects. Well, hello everybody. Hi. How's everybody doing today? Good. Good. Today we are going to have some fun talking about flowers and gardens. Has anybody here ever planted a garden? Have you ever planted flowers in a garden? Can anybody here tell me what time of year flowers start to bloom? How about you with the green shirt right there? In spring, that's right. Usually we start planting our flowers in spring and they start to come on up in the spring and they usually bloom throughout the summer and it's very pretty to see. And it's fun to do too. Does anybody like planting gardens? Me too. So we're going to talk a little bit about flowers and planting gardens and how that all works. Has anybody got any idea what kind of flowers there are that grow? Can you give me some names? How about you?
Sunflowers.
Sunflowers, that's a good one. And how about you?
Roses.
Roses, that's right. And you in the back with the flower on your shirt?
Daisies.
Daisies, that's a nice one too. How about you right here? Dandelions, yep, those grow lots and lots of flowers, don't they? How about you right here?
Roses.
Yep, roses. Does anybody have one we haven't seen yet?
Daffodils?
Daffodils, those are beautiful. Those are yellow usually, right? And sometimes they come up a little orangey. How about you right here? Do you have one?
Rose.
Roses, yep. How about you?
Buttercups.
Buttercups, those are very pretty. What about you? Do you know one? Tulips, those are really, really pretty. They come up lots of different colors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read a little bit now about, well, actually, let me ask maybe one more question. What do you have to do to plant a garden? Does anybody know? You right here.
Water plants.
You have to water them, yep. You put seeds in the ground. How about you with the green shirt in the back right there? Yep.
You gotta give them sunlight.
You have to make sure they get some sunlight. And make sure you're telling me something we haven't heard yet. How about you right there in the gray shirt?
Shovel.
You do have to shovel. How about you right here?
You have to put water on them.
You do have to water them. Can somebody tell me anything that we haven't thought about? You right here. Soil. You have to make sure they've got soil to put in. Maybe one more person who I haven't heard from yet. If you've already told me something and I've already called on you, then put your hand down so I can give somebody else a chance. How about you right here?
Patience.
Patience, that's a good one. You have to have some patience when you wait for your flowers to bloom. All right, let me ask one more question and we'll make it really, really quick. What is something else that you can plant besides flowers? Let me make sure I haven't called on you. So if I've called on you before, put your hand down so I can give somebody else a chance.
Corn.
Corn, that's a good one. You right here. Fruit. And you right here. Trees, yep. And one more in the back with the burgundy shirt, yep.
Oh, Carrots.
Carrots, that's a good one too. Okay, we're gonna hold our comments and hold our questions for a little while, and we're gonna go ahead and read our story so that we have enough time to do our very fun flower pot art project. How does that sound?
Good.
Cool. All right, guys, so we've got two stories here, and they're both kind of similar, and they're both about planting gardens. This one is called Jack's Garden by Henry Cole. And this book, if you ever have time to look it up in the library, has a lot of cool pictures in it, and it's got a lot of cool information too that you can look at and find out more about gardening. And it gives you different names of different tools and things that you use in planting a garden. And the book says, this is the garden that Jack planted. Do we see any flowers or anything yet? No. This is the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. And what do we see in there? Lots of worms, huh? Yep, little grubs, little worms, larvae. These are the seeds that fell on the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. We see lots of different seeds that he's planting in the soil for his garden. This is the rain that wet the seeds that fell on the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. These are the seedlings that sprouted with the rain that wet the seeds that fell on the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. See, he's starting to get his first sprouts. And the bird is enjoying that worm, huh? These are the plants that grew from the seedlings that sprouted with the rain, that wet the seeds, that fell on the soil, that made up the garden that Jack planted. And we see lots of different bugs in the garden, and they like the garden. And a snake. These are the buds that formed on the plants that grew from the seedlings that sprouted with the rain, that wet the seeds, that fell in the soil, that made up the garden that Jack planted. And we see lots of little ladybugs and bugs in there, don't we? These are the flowers that blossomed from the buds that formed on the plants that grew from the seedlings that sprouted with the rain, that seeds that fell on the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. And like I said, remember how we saw lots of different tools? Well, with each page, if you notice, they've got lots of different names of things and give you lots of information about what they're showing you and what comes in a garden. And for this page, we've got lots of different names of different flowers, and that'll show you what kind of flower looks like what. These are the insects that sipped nectar from the flowers that blossomed from the buds that formed on the plants that grew from the seedlings that sprouted with the rain, that wet the seeds, that fell on the soil, that made up the garden that Jack planted. These are the birds that chase the insects that sip nectar from the flowers that blossomed from the buds that formed on the plants that grew from the seedlings that sprouted with the rain, that wet the seeds that fell on the soil that made up the garden that Jack planted. And this is the garden that Jack planted. Pretty garden, huh? Lots of things in there. Did you guys like that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when you get a chance, if you get a chance, you can look this book up own time. It's called Jack's Garden, and it's really cool. It's got lots of cool pictures of lots of cool things to show you what goes into a garden.
Do you know like some bugs like protect some flowers, some bugs I know, and some birds do too?
That is true. Some bugs do protect some flowers, and some birds do too. And some bugs need flowers in order to grow because they sip the nectar, and others eat the leaves and different things like that. Zinnia's flower garden. And see if you can notice how this book and the last book are kind of similar. They're a little different, but they're kind of similar. Spring has arrived. Zinnia is getting her garden ready for planting. She digs up the soil and turns it over with her shovel. She takes out the stones and rakes the dirt smooth. The warm sun feels good as she works. Zinnia carefully plants many kinds of flower seeds in rows. She covers the seeds with dirt and pats it all down very gently. She sprinkles the ground with water. Is she kind of doing some of the same things that Jack had to do?
Yeah.
Yep. Zinnia waits for the seeds to sprout. The seeds need the sun to shine, the rain to fall, and many days to pass. It is hard to wait so long for her seeds to grow. She has to have patience, doesn't she? And somebody here mentioned that it takes patience to grow a garden. Every day, Zinnia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way through the dirt. Now, Zinnia's garden is full of green sprouts growing toward the sun. Little stems grow taller, little leaves get bigger, little roots go deeper into the earth. Zinnia takes care of her garden every day. When the sun is hot, soil is dry, she waters her thirsty plants. She pulls up pesky weeds that try to crowd her plant. She inspects them for greedy bugs. She measures how tall, strong, and healthy plants are growing. Every day they get bigger and bigger. First thing in the morning, Zinnia runs out to check her garden. She's excited to see little buds growing on her many plants. And then at last, she finds what she's been waiting for, the first flower. One bud has bloomed. How beautiful! And what a sweet smell. There are many more buds that will open soon. The garden grows and grows with blossoming flowers. Zinnia paints, reads, and picnics among them. Butterflies flutter, bees buzz. Zinnia's garden is her favorite place to be on these warm summer days. Very pretty, huh? Her flowers are abundant, and Zinnia cuts some to arrange into bouquets. The fragrant scents of the flowers swirl around her in the warm breeze. And somebody said sunflowers. That's what we saw on that last page. See those beautiful sunflowers?
And right there.
One hot summer day, Zinnia has lemonade stand and puts a sign. Pick your own flowers. Customers and gather bunches of flowers, drop money in her jar. In the autumn, as it gets colder, Zinnia picks the last flowers from her garden. She finds ripe seeds that have formed. They are ready to be collected. She will save them to plant next year. The winter days are short, the sun is dim, and the ground is covered with snow. But Zinnia is already planning next year's garden. When spring comes, she will be ready to grow her very own flowers again. And that was Xenia's garden. And on the back of this book, we see directions about how to grow your own flowers. You guys like that story?
Yes.
Me too. Well, now it is time for us to head over for our very own, hold on. Our very own flower pot project. But make sure you don't touch anything until I give you directions, okay? Is that a deal?
Yes.
All right. We're going to make our own flower pots that we can keep. And these aren't real flowers, but they're pretend flowers, and they'll last a little longer than our real flowers would. All right? So what we're going to do to start is you're going to take your little box. You guys should see brown paper cuttings. So you're going to take some of that and you're going to put it in the bottom of your box. And you're going to put enough so that it's almost full, but not quite, okay? And each of you is going to get a circle. And we're going to put just a little bit, a dot like that, on a fuzzy ball. Can everybody see how much glue I put? So you're just going to put a little dot like that on our fuzzy ball. And then you're going to stick it on your piece of paper on one side so that it's like that. We're going to take our long pipe cleaner fuzzy stick. Make sure it's the long one. Does everybody see your long fuzzy stick? All right, you're going to take your long fuzzy stick and you're going to find the middle of your circle, and not on the side that you put your fuzzy ball, but on the other side, you're going to go and you're going to poke through the middle of it, just like that. See that? And then you're going to fold the top of it. See the top of your fuzzy stick? Can everybody see? You're going to fold it down and just kind of roll it into itself so that it's a little ball. And that will hold it on place. So you're going to take your short fuzzy stick now, and you're going to take your flower. You are going to make a T, the end right there, and leave a little bit of your fuzzy stick sticking out. Then you're going to take your fuzzy stick and you're going to fold it in half. And so you should have two pointy ends of your fuzzy stick sticking out across your stem. And then you'll take your ends and you'll twist together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that green mossy stuff that's on top of your desk, and you're going to take a little pinch of that and put it on top of your brown stuff, okay? And then what you will do is you will take your flower and stick it right into the middle, and you'll just kind of have to work it into the middle. And then it should stay right in the middle of your flower pot. Does everybody see that? Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun today learning about flowers and gardens and plants and things. We are at South Range Elementary School, and we've had a lot of fun with our 2 stories and our very fun flower, plant, springtime project. So until next time, don't forget to tune in to Kids Corner on Armstrong Cable channels 20 and 100. Till then, we say goodbye.